I know we are coming to a close here, so I definitely did not want to leave without talking about your upcoming series on Netflix, the reimagination of the 1975 Judy Blume novel that follows the epic love story of two Black teens exploring their journey of being each other's capital F first in 2018 LA. You described it as the idea of your first love being with you forever. And of course, the show is titled such as, and I gotta thank you, Mara, because look at me on set with the Shadow program, the Story 27 production Shadow program. I was a select, the first, okay, and I had such an incredible day as a TV writer, knowing that, you know, there's somewhere I want to go. There's a destination of sorts. Seeing the production, a Netflix production on that scale, and seeing your work firsthand, and watching Tembi Banks direct all day, like, it was such a phenomenal experience. So I thank you so much. And I ate all y'all food, y'all. I ate so good that day.
That's a part of the culture for sure. That's how we get through it.
So good. So in creating this series, I think love gets a bit heavy. Actually, I'm going to skip that question. Here's what I really want to ask you.
Okay.
You know, for the teen couple featured in Forever, their parents are heavily involved with the way that they're able to romantically engage one another. And so as a mother, where do you find yourself leaning in or giving space for your children's journey in love? And are there any lessons that you would like them to carry forward in their relationships?
Wow. I think that was a bigger question than I anticipated.
You like that?
You got to talk to me about being a mother. For me, this story was about not only observing my own children, but really the state of what Black children, and more specifically, children who've come out of the PWI environment and experience. And one of the things that, if I'm going to be really frank, that breaks my heart is that I don't think overarchingly in the specificity, hear me out, but really specific, when we're these parents who trying to give your children the best, and we are from an age in which the best was, you know, a lot of private white institutions. And what you realize is, though there's some really, you know, really good, a lot of great aspects to it, there's an isolation that happens with your children. And one of the things that they miss out on to experience, to be mirrored with, is like little things like crushes and someone liking you back. And you realize the isolation of themselves, how limiting it is for them to experience what I believe their classmates were. And I'm not saying that they were 100% either. I'm not naive to know that everyone's having that experience. But by virtue of, there's a lot of, I think, young Black children, specifically in these environments, are they missing those that social participation of just someone liking someone and someone also liking you, whether they're the same person or not, that to feel that on yourself, and, you know, let alone what the friendship groups are like. But in the romantic department, I was concerned that our Black children were not having an opportunity to meet and see each other. The second layer to that is, as a parent, parenting at a time when it really does feel like you're, you know, when you realize that your education or how much money you have or what is not going to save you if you Black in this country, where it felt like there was an open season on us and our children, and my son who likes to wear hoodies, you know, all of that kind of catastrophic fear. And I realized that, and I've observed it not only in myself, but in other parents, that we are so overprotective of our children because of the nature of knowing, you know, even the 24-hour news cycle, it's just all the fear is right there all the time. And and the fear also is a real fear. It's not, we're not making this up, you know? And like I said, these families who thought, oh, if we just get them in the right schools and the right address, our kids will be fine. I realized that is not true, obviously. And what extra layer of catastrophic parenting are we putting on children at a time when they are supposed to be exploring, figuring out who they are? There's like a narrow window for them to exist. And that was something that was interesting to me as we talk about first. I think also for Black boys, raising Black boys, you know, before you can talk about all of the happy romantic ideas of what love is, because we're talking about sexuality, we're now talking about how he can be seen as violent just because he has a penis and he's Black. And so you have to start talking about rape before you can talk about love. You have to talk about things, and so that what we're robbing our children of. And though we don't get that heavy in it, the perspective of that is what is true, and why we parent the way we do, we overprotect the way we do. And I question, how much are we squeezing out of their opportunity to discover a lot on their own? And then again, I already mentioned before, the environment's becoming very, very, you know, I remember when I was going to school, I went to public school, I would say it was about 30% Black. I had a bunch of boyfriends. You know, like you, and what I mean by that is you can have one boyfriend for a day.
You added language, Mara. That's called being outside.
Well, no, I'm not. No, you can call it that. I'm talking about real, and we're laughing, but I'm really trying to talk about something that is the difference I feel between generations, not to be like our generations, but no, I'm just saying generationally, what we have not been able to figure out, I am a little concerned with. And I often try to alchemize my concerns into my art. And so one of the things that I wanted to provide for forever is I wanted to have in the canon an experience of two children, two Black children, two Black YA children coming together, that their love is, even though their love is complicated, they need each other in order to sort of figure out who they are. Because I actually believe the only forever love there ever really is self-love. And so I think in the right relationship, it leads you back to your better self. And they were able to negotiate that while they're in this sort of time in which they have to consider what race does to them, and this time in which they have to consider all this catastrophic parenting at the same time. But
yeah,
that's have the experience of love.
Yes, and you know,
and
two
sex.
things. Yes.
And it's not weaponized, and it's not horrible, and it's lovely, and it's sweet, and it is healthy, one could say.
Yeah, and in the pleasure of getting to know you for this past year and being a part of the community you've made at the Writers Colony, you constantly let us know how much your spirituality means to you, and constantly encouraging us to hear ourselves, to know ourselves. And I think that's one of the healthiest ways that we can engage love, explore it, have those fun times, learn our hard lessons, is the knowing of self, which can inform so much. And number two, which is definitely a theme that I explore in She Loves Me Not, it's a matter of parents sort of teaching us more defensive approaches to life, so where love as sort of this abundant, healthy, beautiful item is not as explored. We sort of think of that as secondary because there's so much more horrors to our race, our gender, our safety, and even the war that can happen in romance and in love. And so I think it's poignant that you've said that. As we have come to a close, Mara, you've told a million stories about love that will last a lifetime, through cultures and beyond, through generations. And as you've quoted as well, love is a ride and you've got to be willing to take it. So my final question for you tonight, what is the largest discovery you've had about love? And are there any new lessons for you on the horizon?
Ooh, you got some good questions, Latasha. Shoot, I should have drank some more tea. You know, what is the new discovery about love? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm. What's the largest discovery, and are there any new lessons?
Is there a larger, I knew when I had my children that there's a whole other portal of like capacity. It kind of, you hear about it, oh yeah, you love your kids, but you can literally feel it in your body. I feel like that is a bridge. I think the romantic love opens you up to want to share your life. I feel like it almost is the first stage. And I feel like the mothering part of my experience with love like I just said, a portal to another place. But I think the portal is to yourself. Like, I really do believe that really all of those feelings of romantic love, mothering love, friendship love is a way to drive us to understanding who we are and why we are here. I feel my biggest love lately, and I don't know if it's as lately because I think I've been here for a minute, is how to lock in with God's plan on your life and really hear it and understand it and find joy and delight in doing it. I mean, even Writers Colony, I know we talk about it, that was a God whisper. That was loving myself and loving my mission here, my purpose here, and hear that and act on it. Even though it seemed crazy to do, to self-invest and, you know, try to help others to actually do what you've been raised to do, but actually do it. It's not theory anymore. It's not a theory. You're living your purpose in your life. And it is, that is my biggest love. That is sort of like the biggest love. And I feel like all of these other things that we fight in society, like your identity, your preference, the labeling that it's all on us, I think are distractions from those God whispers to get here and act on what we're supposed to be doing here to really raise the vibration overall of love, right? I think the fun part of sex and romance and all of that and kissing and hugging and cuddling, God, yes, I hope everybody has that in their life because it's delicious. But I think it's supposed to be a part of the meal, not the meal, right? It's the thing that's nourishing you to get to who you really are and why you're really here. And I think lastly, I want to add, just because we're talking about creativity, I think the closest dance you can do, or the best, one of the best love affairs is to create, is to make. Now, if you, and even, I'm not even talking about career wise. Though you can make a career creating, I think making something, whether it's a meal or you crochet or you write a story or you film a story or you paint a painting or you write a book or you make a pot, or you know what I'm saying, you do something, you make something, is one of the best love stories, because that's when, to me, you are co-creating with God. You are imagining and reproducing something. An idea is now a tangible item, and someone like this. This is one of my favorite. And you've seen me drink out of this all the time. I love this mug, but
I
this
think I
Mara.
stole it a few times too.
But whoever this, it's a cup, we know we seen a cup before, right? But it's like the way they did it, the color, the pattern, the this, the that, even like my wallpaper, like these are things that I'm attracted to. That's like knowing yourself. It's that whoever made that, it just makes me happy. And it inspires me to stay in this chair and try to write other stories that can perhaps inspire people, that would, whether that they follow in my footsteps or they follow their own footsteps, of inspiration, is what I think the ultimate love story is about. And I hope you get some kisses and cuddling on the way. You know what I'm saying? As a part of that fuel to that.
And that's what we're doing right here on She Loves Me Now. We getting Black folks to start kissing in the mouth again. Okay.
Black people don't kiss in the mouth, Latasha.
Black folks kissing in the mouth. That's my whole thing.
But what do you mean? Wait a minute. What do you mean they don't kiss in the mouth anymore?
No, they absolutely do. But that soft sensual romance, we just want to see more of it. That's it. I'm just making a story where we can see more of it.